I'm going to move on to talk about interaction with officers. We, as human beings, welcome the interaction between ourselves and how we take that interaction. Often is informs the level of confidence that we might have in the organisation that they represent, or the function that they perhaps or the service that they are accessing. A number of questions submitted by residents who felt that they perhaps hadn't had the high standard of service that they would expect.
Yeah, I think we've certainly had examples of both come in as part of our prep work for this. An example here of good work. PC Nicol went over every single issue, event, report, email, and painstakingly worked for weeks and months. I'm certainly happy with the outcome. That's a direct quote. I felt supported by PC Lodge, who constantly kept me in the loop. Another example. But we've also had, as the Commissioner said, a number of examples where people weren't happy. Christine from the Lickey Hills said she felt officers don't take reports of crime seriously. Ellen said she feels police officers to be uninterested in dealing with incidents unless it has a potential to be serious. And Malcolm from Hereford this time said he feels police officers were sarcastic in their responses to him. So a mixed picture in terms of the public's engagement with officers, recognising that 2,500 members of the team dealing with very complex issues an awful lot of the time. Just wondered what your thoughts are on those sort of experiences, perhaps particularly about those where the public sees them as serious and important, but they maybe are not a high risk or harm issue.
Well, first of all, I think it's really important to say that it's great to hear that really positive feedback from named officers. I get loads of letters from really grateful, not just victims of crime, but members of our community who write to tell me about the great work that our officers and staff do every day. And that makes it even more disappointing when those three examples that you highlighted, where my officers and staff haven't represented the force in the way that I'd want them to. When we select officers and staff, for a selection process, we test their communication skills, we test their values, their alignment, what their passion for policing and for joining the job, making a difference to our communities. And that's something that throughout their initial training, that's tested throughout and educated throughout. We spoke previously about procedural justice. And really important that the police are not only seen as effective in solving crime, preventing crime, but also that the public feel that the police are fair. And I think that's the hard one to quantify, because how you leave a victim feeling or member of the public feeling after an interaction is absolutely critical. And so we are investing in that procedural justice. It sounds very wordy, but effectively that effective and fair treatment, and why it's really important that the members of the public that we come into contact with are left feeling with that perception of West Mercia Police. So it's something that I'm really focused on. I want everyone who is subject of our service to feel that they've been treated fairly, to feel that they've been taken seriously. It's something that we specifically ask victims of crime about, and as the Deputy said earlier, we've seen improvements in our victim satisfaction rate, and a key part of that is that the officer took concern seriously and they felt that they've been treated fairly. So a real area of focus for me, and something that I'll continue to focus on going forward.
And if a member of the public felt that their concern or issue hadn't been taken seriously enough, what would you recommend that they do? How should they respond to that?
Through our West Mercia Police website, you can tell us about the great service that you've received. You can tell us about an individual who's made a difference, about an individual encounter, and there's also the opportunity there to tell us when we haven't got it right, and escalate a concern that way, and whether that's dealt with in terms of something we call a local resolution, and it's a conversation with the officer or member of staff, as the Deputy alluded to. In terms of how do you think that interaction could have gone better, do you see how that victim could have been left feeling, or through to a formal complaints process. But all of the information is available on the West Mercia Police website.